Good evening and welcome to the July edition of the Niceville-Valparaiso Chamber of Commerce Business Forum. Got a great show for you this evening, so make sure you stay tuned. But first up, we have a very exciting guest. The first time on our stage, we have Marcus Chambers, who is the principal of Niceville High School. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you having me here.
The pleasure is all ours. We'll talk a little bit about our history here in a minute, but tell me a little bit about yourself and what drives you to be the best educator you possibly can be.
Well, first of all, I'd say that I'm a person of faith. And I'm a husband and I'm a father. I'm blessed to have a beautiful wife who teaches at Choctaw High School and two children who attend school in the Niceville area.
Amen.
Now, as far as what drives me, I'm a person that truly believes in public education, and I think it's it's that great equalizer. It is something that if you are truly in public education, you're doing it for the right reasons, which means you're trying to impact students.
Sure.
And nowadays sometimes that becomes a cliche, but I think at Niceville that's definitely what we're going to be about. And it's what I've been about as an educator thus far. I believe in having very high expectations for myself first and foremost, and I'm a very hard critiquer of myself, and that drives me.
Sure.
But I think having high expectations for the teachers and the students is also very important, and those are some of the things that drives me.
Give me a little idea of your background and how it led you to be the principal at Niceville.
Okay. Well, first of all, I was blessed to be a teacher at Ruckle Middle School when I started. I was an English teacher, so very familiar with the Niceville area. I was a coach there as well. Matter of fact, coached your boys.
Absolutely, I was going to mention that, but
yes,
since you brought it up,
so that was a great start. Very much into the instructional side right away. I was fortunate to go to the district office where I was the safe schools specialist as an administrator, in charge of safety, discipline, and athletics. So that was a very interesting experience.
And some really trying times too, as I recall those years. Yeah.
There were some very trying times. We had a few tragedies, and we had to deal with that at a county level. I was fortunate to go to Niceville High School as an assistant principal after that, in charge of the reading program, literacy implementation, and curriculum. And I think that's what kind of propelled me to the principalship. I was at an elementary school at Longwood Elementary as a principal, middle school principal at Pryor Middle School, and then very fortunate and blessed to be the principal of Niceville High School now.
Yes, I have to say you have the ultimate job in the Okaloosa County school system, and having put 3 kids through the Niceville program, Blue Water, Ruckle, and then Niceville High, and you having a hand, and especially with my boys, and
yes,
you and I chatted a little bit about that. I have to thank you up front. It was a real blessing to come here, and a real blessing to have teachers and educators such as yourself taking care of my children, and hopefully they turn out to be quite a success, and that'll work out great for everybody. But I want to thank you up front for that.
I appreciate that.
You've been at Niceville about 4 months now, and you transitioned between Niceville and Pryor Middle School. What do you find is the most enjoyable part of your job?
Well, I think without hesitation, it's definitely meeting the people. And I've been it's been a great time to, first of all, to have that transition period. And I've been able to meet with each of the teachers. It's a great staff there, a very committed and dedicated group. I've been able to meet with student groups, and as a matter of fact, they came to me and they had an agenda of what they wanted to accomplish in meeting with me.
Classic. That's awesome.
And then I think meeting with the parents and the community members have been great. Whether it be at school, whether it be at Walmart, wherever it is, people have been very warm and inviting. So that has probably been the best part so far, is meeting the people.
It is. It's an absolutely great community, isn't it?
It is.
It is. And the Chamber's always been a huge part of that, and always been a part of the high school too. So I see some great things coming for us in the future. What do you find to be the biggest challenges in Niceville for the upcoming year, other than, of course, a winning football program?
Well, football is definitely something that we want to be successful in.
Absolutely.
But I think that the biggest challenge has been the budget. As you know, in education and across the nation, the economy has been a big factor in decisions that have to be made. And it's no different in education. But over the last several years, educators have had to deal with a difficult budget.
Sure.
And as a principal, I've had to do that already. So this year will be a bit of a challenge. but we will be very successful in the same right. But you know, historically, Niceville is a school that has been able to offer a wide variety of course offerings.
Sure.
And you know, this year, along with our school and all schools across the state of Florida, we're going to have to slim down some of those course offerings, and that will be a challenge because it impacts students, but unfortunately it's something that you must do to be fiscally responsible.
Absolutely, absolutely, and probably going to be getting back to the basics a little bit. You've never ever had a problem with parental involvement at Niceville High School, but tell me a little bit more how the community plays a role in your high school.
Well, I think you know, the Niceville community is very unique. We have a very educated community, a very involved community, and I think the parents in the community both have very high expectations for their own children. They have very high expectations for the administrative staff, for the teachers, and that's something I think as a principal you want to walk into.
Sure.
You'd rather have that every single day rather than the opposite, you know, parents or communities that are not involved.
Absolutely.
So I think the parents in the community very much value education, the sports, the extracurriculars. You look at band and chorus parents, you know, second to none. We have probably the strongest band and chorus in the state of Florida.
Wow,
and those parents drive that.
Wouldn't miss those concerts for anything in the world.
Yes, sir.
My kids haven't been in school in 6 years, but I still make those concerts every year. Professional development's a topic that you hear a lot about in the educational world, especially in your recent years. Starting at the 2011-2012, you guys are going to be taking part in something similar to the early release at the elementary and middle school levels. How's that going to benefit your teachers?
Well, first of all, I do want to say, you know, what we are doing is like what's called a late start time, which in essence is very similar to the early release at the elementary and middle school level. Mm-hmm. So students, 1 day a month on the same day as early release, will start school at Niceville for Walton Choctaw at about 9:55. And teachers will still show up at about 6:45. And this is going to provide us that once a month opportunity to have some meaningful professional development.
Sure.
We'll have teachers getting together, they'll plan together, plan common assessments, common instructional strategies, and it's going to allow us to do some district and state initiatives to better our instruction and to help our students even more.
What do you see as your top priorities and initiatives for this new school year?
Well, we have a few. One is to implement a very strong professional development program similar to what I was just speaking about. You know, kids today are a little bit different. Technology is a big piece to today's world. So we have to become even better. I think we're very good there, but we have to become even better in technology. I want to look at really having strong instructional strategies that really engage students. Once again, very strong staff, but as kids change, you know, our teaching needs to evolve as well.
Absolutely.
We want to continue to really focus on our graduation rate and getting those students either to college or to be or to be career ready. I think that's important through our IT classes and other classes that we have. But these are just a few of the initiatives that we're looking at right now.
Sure. I have to say that I want to thank you. Niceville High School has always been a jewel in our community. It feeds our labor force that we use as business owners. It's just been an absolute, it's kept our property values up. There's so many ways that it impacts the finances in our Chamber of Commerce. And I want to thank you for all that you've done already. And your footprints are all over our community. And thank you very much for what you did for my sons. God bless you. Look forward to a new year.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the time.
Please stay tuned. Up next we have our breakfast sponsors, Simple HR, and they're going to tell us some great things about their products and services. So stay tuned.